please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay. Thank you, and welcome to the South River Board of Education regular meeting of Thursday, June 23rd, 2022. In compliance with the Open Public Meeting Act, Chapter 231, Laws of 1975 of the State of New Jersey, adequate notice of this meeting of the South River Board of Education was provided in the following manner. On June 3rd, 2022, the notice was delivered to the office of the South River Borough Clerk and posted at the Board of Education Administration Building. On June 3rd, 2022, the notice was faxed mailed to the following newspapers: Home News Tribune, Sentinel. On June 3rd, 2022, the notice was posted at the South River Borough Clerk's office. Mr. Kokoska, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Bazak, here. Mr. Budson.
Mr. Buzzin has been excused.
Mrs. Bush.
Here.
Mrs. Byrne.
Ms. Byrne has been excused.
Mrs. Lowe.
Here.
Mr. Nielsen.
Here.
Mrs. Sadowski.
Here.
Ms. Young Yao.
Ms. Young Yao has been excused.
Mr. Baranick.
Here.
And I'm assuming Ms. Passion's not here.
She just graduated. She is no longer a student board representative. Okay, so our first item of business on the agenda is our minutes.
There are no changes from Monday's meeting.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions or abstentions that are going to be on these minutes? If not, is there a motion on the minutes?
Nielsen moved the minutes as read.
Motion by Mr. Nielsen, second by Mr. Bazak. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you. The minutes pass. And the use of facilities, Mr. Kokoska.
We have 5 items on the agenda: South River Recreation Department, the Right at School, South River Police Department, and the Borough of South River.
Board members, what is your pleasure on the use of facilities?
Move the use of facilities in accordance with board policies.
Motion by Mr. Nielsen,
Second.
second by Ms. Sadowski. Are there any questions or comments on these items? All in favor? Aye, thank you. Okay, next item is our financial report. Ms. Lowe.
Thank you. Be it resolved that the Board of Education hereby certifies that it is in receipt of the financial report, which indicates that no major account has been overexpended and that sufficient funds are available to meet the district's financial obligations for the remainder of the fiscal year. The Finance Committee recommends that the reports of the Board Secretary and the Treasurer of School Monies for April 2022 be approved, and I so move.
Thank you. Motion by Ms. Lowe,
Second.
second by Mr. Nielsen. Are there any questions or comments on the financial report? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you. At this time, we're going to hear from our Superintendent of Schools, Ms. Zurcher.
Thank you, Mrs. Urbanek. We have a lot to celebrate this evening. I'm happy to report our 8th graders went through their 8th grade promotion yesterday successfully. That was a wonderful ceremony. And our high schoolers just graduated about half an hour ago. We got to see them throw their caps in the air and celebrate. And Mr. Bouchard is here to help us celebrate one of our students' accomplishments, our unsung hero. And while Mr. Bouchard is here, I also want to mention and thank him for a great graduation ceremony. A lot of hard work went into that event. So thank you and all your staff for a great job tonight. So I'll turn it over to Mr. Bouchard so he can tell us a bit about our unsung hero.
So our recipient also could not be here this evening. He's still partying it up on the football field at Denny Stadium. So each year the Middlesex County School Boards Association and Middlesex County Association of School Administrators recognize students from each high school in Middlesex County. The honorees are schools' unsung heroes, students that make outstanding contributions to their schools and communities, but who often would be overlooked under traditional student recognition guidelines. I would like to take this opportunity to recognize Matthew Kaiser. a South River High School student who was selected for this award for his outstanding achievements. You know, Matt is a strong student who has maintained his grades despite his mother's medical diagnosis. He helped take on more responsibility at home while she underwent treatment. On top of this adversity, he is involved at school and with work and plays an active role in his community. He volunteers at St. Mark's Summer Camp as a camp counselor. He is also a member of the Servants Prep program at St. Mark's, where he engages with a curriculum consisting of thought-provoking lectures and builds leadership skills, as well as character and integrity. Matt is an ordained deacon and is the president of the St. Mark's Festival Planning Committee. Finally, Matt is a junior assistant scoutmaster who supervises, leads, plans, and works to improve the local scout troop. We are very proud of Matt, and we're honored that he was this year's recipient for South River High School.
In my superintendent's report, I also included a video link for the evening when Matt received his award, as well as all of the other unsung heroes that were selected in Middlesex County. It really is a beautiful video that highlights the accomplishments of Matt, of course, for South River, but also many students that have done some amazing things. It's a real beautiful video, and like I said, I included the link. Our primary school district mission is definitely to ensure that our students are prepared for the next goal, post-graduation, and we definitely had a good feeling about that this evening. We heard from many of our students who shared with us what their next step in their journey was going to be. And one of the things that we have really been focusing on since about 2018, we began with this goal, is a direct focus on our graduation rate and giving the most students we possibly can that opportunity to gain their high school diploma. And so I included in my superintendent's report today just a bit of a history and a historical viewpoint and data about our graduation rate, which in school year 17-18 began at 85.9. Now the state average in New Jersey for a graduation rate tends to be around 91%. And so one of the things we wanted to make sure that South River could do is at minimum meet that state average or exceed it. We moved forward with that goal, like I said, in 2018, and in school year 18-19, our graduation rate was 91.5. We were very proud to be able to make those strides at that time, and if you recall, that was the year we put in place our alternative program, our credit recovery initiatives, and that really helped to move our students along. In 1920, our graduation rate went up to 93.8. And that 2020 school year we know was a challenging one. For 2021, our graduation rate dropped to 87.3 while we were on virtual instruction. So now we have a projected graduation rate for this class that we just celebrated this evening. It is a projected number, it is not a finalized number. We submit our data to the state and then they confirm that graduation rate, and that won't happen. We submit our data at the end of August and then we get a confirmation in late fall. But our projected percentage for the 21-22 school year is at 93.4%. So we are once again really happy that we were able to welcome our students back in person, continue with our more regular programming, a lot of the activities that we had worked so hard to put in place to really help our students reach their goal, earn their diploma, and really be ready for whatever it is that they wanted to pursue afterwards. And that leads me to some of what we'll be doing this summer. We have great opportunities for enrichment programs for students in primary school and elementary school. We have credit recovery again for our high school students. We have SAT prep programs and testing support programs. We have a summer remediation program, and students were selected based on multiple measures of data. That is a full-day program that we're offering at no cost, and it's a combination of an academic support opportunity as well as camp, summer camp. Students need that opportunity for building their social and emotional skills and interacting, and they'll have a little bit of both in joining this program. Our primary and elementary school English language learner program Those students have also been invited to attend a summer program that's targeting their language skills and needs, and as well as our ESY program, which we run every summer for our special needs students. And we use this program to help make sure that they can retain the skills that they learn throughout the school year. So a full listing of our summer opportunities are found on our district website. We have a tab dedicated to all of the opportunities, and it says summer programs. So I encourage our families to click on that and to really make the most of the opportunities that we're offering this summer. And so concludes my report.
Thank you very much. Board members, what is your pleasure on the superintendent's monthly report?
Move the superintendent's report is read.
Motion by Mr. Nielsen.
Second.
Second by Ms. Lell. Are there any questions or comments on anything in the report? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you. At this time, the board is going to open the meeting to the reception of visitors. And this is the time that the public may address agenda items only. There will be another public portion toward the end of the meeting where the public may address any items for the Board of Education. So we are going to open up the meeting, and if you come to the podium, please state your name and address, and please keep your comments to a 10-minute time limit, again for agenda items. Hello.
Hello, Dan Stempora, 568 Smith Drive, Point Pleasant Borough. Good evening, South River Board of Education. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Dan Stempora and I am the current South River Education Association President. I'd like to take this time to acknowledge and thank you for voting to ratify our negotiated contract. I was fortunate enough to be a member of our negotiations team along with Amanda Cobb, Jason Bentley, Donnie Minto, Nicole Logan, Claudia Curcio, who is in attendance tonight, Michelle Nigro, and Mike Radigan to represent the best interest of our membership. As you are all aware, the negotiations process can be a grueling one and contentious. This negotiations process was anything but that. From start to finish, it was nothing but open and respectful. Both sides engaged with resolving conflict with an honest intent of reaching an outcome that both parties felt was fair and equitable. Our membership's overwhelming yes vote to ratify this contract shows that we were able to meet the needs of our members, our schools, our school community, and most importantly, the student population of South River that we love to teach so much. We thank each and every one of you for your support and dedication and service to our teachers, students, staff, and South River community, and look forward to continuing this relationship with all future endeavors. In unity, as always, the South River Education Association. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Stempora. Thank you very much. It is greatly appreciated. I believe this may be the third or fourth contract that we have settled before the contract expired. There is a great working relationship between the negotiations committee here at the board and with the SREA. And it just goes to prove that if you really want to get something done, if everybody stays level-headed in the room and you work toward what is in the best interest of everyone, it gets done. We're happy that we've got this settled. Everybody can have a great summer, and we'll see in 5 years. It's a 5-year contract. Hopefully there's nothing really too much that comes up in between that, but we know they all do. Do any other board members have any other comments for Mr. Stempora?
No.
Okay, is there anyone else from the public wishing to speak at this time? On first call, on second call, and on third call? We'll close the public portion. Mr. Kokoska, we have under the president of the board the memorandum of agreement. Which ones will be under consent? Is that a?
Well, I think it was discussed at Monday's.
Yeah, I forgot though.
Yeah, we wanted
Sorry.
the memorandum of agreement to stand by itself. Yeah.
Okay, great then. So this is a resolution, and the president of the board, upon recommendation of the superintendent, recommends that the memorandum of agreement for the 2022-2027 collective bargaining agreement between the South River Board of Education in the South River Education Association be approved, and I so move. Is there a second to that motion?
Nielsen.
Second by Mr. Nielsen. Any questions? Would you please call the roll?
Mr. Budson, Mr. Bezak.
Yes.
Mrs. Bush,
Yes.
Mrs. Lell,
Yes.
Mr. Nielsen,
Yes.
Mr. Sadowski,
Yes.
Mr. Urbanek.
Yes. Motion carries. Thank you. Next on the agenda is our consent resolution.
Are we gonna go there, or we wanna do the individuals? What do you wanna do first?
Let's do the consent, and then we'll do.
Well, how we work in the, are we gonna read the individual
Yes.
awards? Okay, you want me to include them into the consent, or do them separately?
You can include them and then we'll read them.
Yeah.
Okay, so no, okay. All right. The South River Board of Education, by means of a consent resolution, adopt various resolutions of a routine and non-controversial nature at one time. And whereas the below listed resolutions are hereby adopted by said Board of Education in whole as if the same were individually acted upon. Under the President of the Board, let's see what we're gonna do here now, since you kind of changed my plan here. So we'll go 5.3 through 5.20.
Yes.
All right, does that sound good? Did I miss anybody? On the President?
21.
Missed 21? All right, my apologies, whoever 21 is.
What about 3.2, Ken? We didn't separately act on that under the...
3.2, who's that?
Oh,
Superintendent report is the unsung hero that Mr.
Oh, we're voting on that? I didn't realize that was a voting item.
It's an acknowledgement of the vote.
Okay, we can do that, we can throw that in. So under the Superintendent of Schools, item 3.2. Thank you. Under Athletics, 6.1 through 6.3, Finance, 8.1 through 8.36, Instruction, 9.1 through 9.8, Policy and Legislation, 11.1 through 11.5, Human Resources, 12.1 through 12.55, and Safety and Risk, 13.1 through 13.3.
Thank you. Motion on the consent resolution?
Nielsen.
Motion by Mr. Nielsen.
Bush.
Second by Ms. Bush. Any questions or abstentions?
Yes,
or comments?
I'm going to abstain on finance, item 8.8, and human resources, item 12.40.
Okay, so noted.
8.8, right? Just wait a second, I'm sorry, and who?
8.8.
12.40.
12.40.
Anyone else?
Right?
Yes.
Mr. Bezak?
Yes.
Yes, with the exceptions. Mrs. Bush?
Yes.
Mrs. Lell?
Yes.
Mr. Nielsen?
Yes.
Mrs. Sadowski?
Yes.
Mr. Urbanek?
Yes. Thank you. The motion carries. Okay, so now we're going to have the reading of the resolutions for many of our employees and acknowledge them. We're going to start with Ms. Lowe.
Thank you. I will read, I have 5 people that are not present this evening, so I will start with those, and then I
Okay.
will work through those that are present. So, Mary Ann Cusaro served the students of the South River School District from 2005 to 2022, and whereas Mary Ann Cusaro served as middle school and high school special education teacher, after-school reading specialist, extended school year teacher, extended day enrichment staff member, mentor, and curriculum writer, and distinguished herself by her enthusiastic devotion to her profession by accepting all responsibilities assigned to her. And whereas Mary Ann Crusaro's service to the school district was marked by her honesty, integrity, and commitment. Now, therefore, be it resolved that this resolution be adopted, spread upon the minutes of the June 23rd, 2022 public meeting, and that a copy of same be presented to Mary Ann Cusaro. Signed, Kenneth J. Kokoska, Board Secretary, Cynthia Urbanek, President. Okay. Resolution. Whereas Deborah DeVivo served the students of South River School District from 1988 to 2021. And whereas Deborah DeVivo served as elementary school and high school physical education health teacher, driver education teacher, girls basketball coach, girls track coach, softball coach, weight room coach, site worker, mentor, and curriculum writer, and distinguished herself by her enthusiastic devotion to her profession by accepting all responsibilities assigned to her. And whereas Deborah DeVivo's service to the school district was marked by her honesty, integrity, and commitment. Now, therefore, be it resolved that this resolution be adopted, spread upon the minutes of the June 23rd, 2022 public meeting, and that a copy of same be presented to Deborah DeVivo. Signed, Kenneth J. Kokoska, Board Secretary, Cynthia Urbanek, President. Resolution. Whereas Nancy File served the students of South River School District from 2009 to 2021, and whereas Nancy File served as middle school and high school mathematics teacher, mentor, lunch and learn math intervention teacher, enrichment staff, and curriculum writer, and distinguished herself by her enthusiastic devotion to her profession by accepting all responsibilities assigned to her. And whereas Nancy File's service to the school district was marked by her honesty, integrity, and commitment, now therefore be it resolved that this resolution be adopted, spread upon the minutes of the June 23rd, 2022 public meeting, and that a copy of same be presented to Nancy File. Signed, Kenneth J. Kokoska, Board Secretary, Cynthia A. Urbanek, President. Resolution. Whereas Jean Zadarsky served the students of the South River School District from 1995 to 2022. And whereas Jean Zadarsky served as primary school special education teacher, kindergarten aide, substitute teacher, mentor, extended school year substitute teacher and aide, morning bus duty staff member, and parking lot monitor, and distinguished herself by her enthusiastic devotion to her profession by accepting all responsibilities assigned to her. And whereas Jean Zadarsky's service to the school district was marked by her honesty, integrity, and commitment. Now, therefore, be it resolved that this resolution be adopted, spread upon the minutes of the June 23rd, 2022 public meeting, and that a copy of same be presented to Jean Zadarsky. Signed, Kenneth J. Kokoska, Board Secretary, Cynthia A. Urbanek, President. And this one's Julia's, which she graduated this evening, so here we go. Resolution. Whereas Julia Pachon served as a student representative to the South River Board of Education from October 2021 to June 2022, and whereas Julia Pachon served her fellow students effectively and diligently by her contribution to the student community, by her participation in the Board of Education meetings, and her high interest in the educational welfare of the student community. And whereas the South River Board of Education recognizes Julia Pachon's outstanding dedication to her duties as student representative to the Board of Education through her demonstrated leadership qualities and wishes her the best in all of her future endeavors. And now, therefore, be it resolved that this resolution be adopted, spread upon the minutes of the June 23rd, 2022 public meeting, and that a copy of same be delivered to Julia Pachon. Signed, Kenneth J. Kokoska, Board Secretary, Cynthia A. Urbanek, President. Okay. So now we're going to stand up.
That's good.
Okay, here we go. Resolution. Whereas Sandra George has served the students of South River School District as a dedicated teacher. And whereas Sandra George's use of effective instruction techniques and methods were outstanding. And whereas Sandra George's establishment of productive classroom climate and rapport with students demonstrates inspirational leadership. And whereas Sandra George has developed feelings of self-worth and love of learning in students by her honesty and commitment to the teaching profession. And resolved, the South River Board of Education at its public meeting of June 23rd, 2022 wishes to recognize Sandra George for her selection to the 2022 Governor's Educator of the Year program representing the primary school. And be it further resolved that South River Board of Education at its public meeting of June 23rd, 2022 wishes to have these sentiments spread upon the minutes of this meeting and that a copy of this resolution be presented to Sandra George. Signed, Kenneth J. Kokoska, Board Secretary, Cynthia A. Urbanek, President.
Thank you. It's an honor to serve the community and a privilege to work with my ELLs, which I adore.
Whereas Sarah Imrani has served the students of the South River School District as a dedicated media specialist, and whereas Sarah Imrani's use of effective instruction techniques and methods were outstanding, and whereas Sarah Imrani's establishment of productive community climate and rapport with the students demonstrates inspirational leadership, and whereas Sarah Imrani has developed feelings of self-worth and love of learning in students by her honesty and commitment to the media specialist profession, and resolved, the South River Board of Education, at its public meeting of June 23, 2022, wishes to recognize Sarah Imrani for selection to the 2022 Governor's Educational Services Professional of the Year program representing the elementary school. And be it further resolved that the South River Board of Education, at its public meeting of June 23, 2022, wishes to have these sentiments spread upon the minutes of this meeting and that a copy of this resolution be presented to Sarah Imrani.
Thank you for recognizing the work and dedication of myself and my colleagues. Enjoy your summers.
Resolution. Whereas Kelly Ferreira has served the students of the South River School District as a dedicated school social worker. And whereas Kelly Ferreira's use of effective instruction techniques and methods were outstanding. And whereas Kelly Ferreira's establishment of productive community climate and rapport with the students demonstrates inspirational leadership. And whereas Kelly Ferreira's has developed feelings of self-worth and love of learning in her students by her honesty and commitment to the school social work profession. And resolved, the South River Board of Education, at its public meeting of June 23, 2022, wishes to recognize Kelly Ferreira's for selection to the 2022 Governor's Educational Services Professional of the Year program representing the middle school. And be it further resolved that the South River Board of Education, at its public meeting of June 23, 2022, wishes to have these sentiments spread upon the minutes of this meeting and a copy of this resolution be presented to Kelly Ferreira.
Just wanted to thank everybody for this great opportunity. It is an honor to be here standing, receiving this award. I grew up in this town, I graduated from this high school, and it is such a blessing to me to give back to this community in many ways, socially, emotionally, supporting academically, as well as my ability to communicate with Spanish-speaking students and families, as well as Portuguese families. So it is, I'm meant to be here, and I'm really taken back by being able to be in this position and help those families like once I was that student. So thank you.
Thank you. I'm next. Just want to put it up there for me. Okay. Resolution. Whereas Michelle Perkin Kopak served the students of the South River School District from 1999 to 2021, and whereas Michelle Perkin Kopak served as high school athletics secretary, student council advisor, class advisor, and site worker, and distinguished herself by her enthusiastic devotion to her profession by accepting all responsibilities assigned to her. And whereas Michelle Perkin Kopak's service to the school district was marked by her honesty, integrity, and commitment. Now therefore be it resolved that this resolution be adopted, spread upon the minutes of the June 23rd, 2022 public meeting, and that a copy of same be presented to Michelle Perkin-Kopak. Kenneth J. Kukuska, Board Secretary. Cynthia Urbanek, President. Allison Stafaro. Resolution. Whereas Allison Stafaro has served the students of South River School District as a dedicated teacher, and whereas Allison Stafaro's use of effective instruction techniques and methods were outstanding, and whereas Allison Stafaro's establishment of productive classroom climate and rapport with students demonstrates inspirational leadership, and whereas Allison Stafaro has developed feelings of self-worth and love of learning in students by her honesty and commitment to the teaching profession, and be it resolved, South River Board of Education at its public meeting of June 23rd, 2022, wishes to recognize Allison Stafaro for selection of the 2022 Governor's Educator of the Year program representing the middle school, and be it further resolved that the South River Board of Education at its public meeting of June 23rd, 2022 wishes to have these sentiments spread upon the minutes of this meeting, and that a copy of this resolution be presented to Allison Stafaro. Kenneth J. Kukuska, Board Secretary. Cynthia A. Urbanek, President. And the award reads, the State of New Jersey Department of Education 2021-22 Governor's Educator of the Year Program awards Certificate of Recognition to Allison Stafaro in honor of the contributions of being an outstanding educator in a New Jersey public school. Angelica Allen McMillan, ED, Acting Commissioner of Education. Next I have Sarah Stout. Here she is, hiding in the back. Come on up. If I gotta stand here, so do you. How far did you push this down? There you go. Resolution. Whereas Sarah Stout has served the students of the South River School District as a dedicated teacher, and whereas Sarah Stout's use of effective instruction techniques and methods were outstanding, and whereas Sarah Stout's establishment of productive classroom climate and rapport with students demonstrates inspirational leadership, and whereas Sarah Stout has developed feelings of self-worth and love of learning in students by her honesty and commitment to the teaching profession, and be it resolved, the South River Board of Education at its public meeting of June 23rd, 2022 wishes to recognize Sarah Stout for selection of the 2022 Governor's Educator of the Year program representing the high school. And be it further resolved that the South River Board of Education at its public meeting of June 23rd, 2022 wishes to have these sentiments spread upon the minutes of this meeting, and that a copy of this resolution be presented to Sarah Stout. Kenneth J. Kukuska, Board Secretary. Cynthia Urbanek, President. And again, it reads, the State of New Jersey, Department of Education, 2021-22 Governor's Educator of the Year Program awards Certificate of Recognition to Sarah Stout in honor of the contributions of being an outstanding educator in New Jersey Public School. Angelica Allen McMillan, ED, Acting Commissioner of Education, and congratulations.
I'll talk to that.
There you go.
I do want to say thank you for this recognition, and I, 22 years ago, started here, and I never left because I love it. I love the town, and I love the students so much, and they make it easy to do, to do the work.
Thank you.
I believe I'm next. So, resolution, whereas Patricia Pinko served the students of the South River School District from 2014 to 2021, and whereas Patricia Pinkos served as learning disabilities teacher, consultant, special education summer evaluation staff member, and professional development turnkey presenter, and distinguished herself by her enthusiastic devotion to her profession by accepting all responsibilities assigned to her. And whereas Patricia Pinkos service to the school district was marked by her honesty, integrity, and commitment. Now, therefore, be it resolved that this resolution be adopted, spread among the minutes of the June 23rd, 2022 public meeting, and that a copy of the same be presented to Patricia Pinkos. Signed, Kenneth J. Kokoska, Board Secretary, and Cynthia Urbanek, President.
Thank you.
I don't see Mrs. Tytler here, right? I don't have my glasses on. Okay, I'm just making sure because I believe I'm reading two as well. So resolution, whereas Marcella Schwartz served the students of South River School District from 2012 to 2022, and whereas Ms. Marcella Schwartz served the primary and elementary school teacher, mentor, and distinguished herself by her enthusiastic devotion to her profession, by accepting all responsibilities assigned to her, and whereas Marcella Schwartz's service to the school district was marked by her honesty, integrity, and commitment, now therefore be it resolved that this resolution be adopted, spread upon the minutes of the June 23rd, 2022 public meeting, and that a copy of same be presented to Marcella Schwartz. Signed, Kenneth J. Kokoska, Board Secretary, and Cynthia Urbanek, President. The second one, resolution, whereas Jean Marie Tytler served the students of South River School District from 1996 to 2021, and whereas Jean Marie Tytler served the primary school and elementary school special education teacher, special education extended school year substitute teacher, mentor, K-5 special ed teacher leader, and school improvement panel staff member, and distinguished herself by an enthusiastic devotion to her profession by accepting all responsibilities assigned to her. And whereas Jean Marie Tytler's service to the school district was marked by her honesty, integrity, and commitment. Now, therefore, be it resolved that this resolution be adopted, spread upon the minutes of the June 23rd, 2022 public meeting, and that a copy of same be presented to Jean Marie Tytler. Signed, Kenneth J. Kokoska, Board Secretary, and Cynthia Urbanek, President.
Thank you. Mr. Beza.
Yes, resolution, whereas Mary Lyota served the students of South River School District from 2016 to 2022, and whereas Mary Lyota served as primary school nurse and distinguished herself by her enthusiastic devotion to her profession by accepting all responsibilities assigned to her, and whereas Mary Lyota's service to the school district was marked by her honesty, integrity, and commitment. Now therefore be it resolved that this resolution be adopted, spread upon the minutes of the June 23rd, 2022 public meeting, and that a copy of the same be presented to Mary Lyota. Resolution. Whereas Josephine Sabella served the students of the South River School District from 2004 to 2022, and whereas Josephine Sabella served as a primary elementary school teacher, summer school teacher, curriculum writer, and adult school substitute teacher, and distinguished herself by her enthusiastic devotion to her profession by accepting all responsibilities assigned to her, and whereas Josephine Sabella's service to the school district was marked by her honesty, integrity, and commitment. Now therefore be it resolved that this resolution be adopted, spread upon the minutes of the June 23rd, 2002 public meeting, that a copy of the same be presented to Joseph Sabella, Kenneth J. Kokoska, Board Secretary, Cynthia Urbanek, President.
And I have background listener.
Resolution. Whereas Rebecca Liska has served the students of South River School District as a dedicated teacher, and whereas Rebecca Liska's use of effective instruction techniques and methods were outstanding, and whereas Rebecca Liska's establishment of productive classroom climate and rapport with the students demonstrates inspirational leadership, and whereas Rebecca Liska has developed feelings of self-worth and love of learning in students by her honesty and commitment to the teaching profession, and resolved, the South River Board of Education at its public meeting on June 23rd, 2022, wishes to recognize Rebecca Liska for selection to the 2022 Governor's Educator of the Year program, representing the elementary school And be it further resolved that the South River Board of Education at its public meeting of June 23rd, 2022, wishes to have these sentiments spread upon the minutes of the meeting, and that a copy of the resolution be presented to Rebecca Liska, Kenneth J. Kokoska, Board Secretary, Cynthia Urbanek, President.
For this great honor.
Thank you. Congratulations. Teresa Januska. Resolution. Whereas Teresa Januska has served the students of South River School District as a dedicated school social worker, and whereas Teresa Januska's use of effective instruction techniques and methods were outstanding, and whereas Teresa Januska's establishment of productive community climate and rapport with the students demonstrates inspirational leadership, and whereas Teresa Januska has developed feelings of self-worth and love of learning in students by her honesty and commitment to the school social work profession, and resolved the South River Board of Education at its public meeting on June 23rd, 2022, wishes to recognize Teresa Januska for selection to the 2022 Governor's Educational Services Professional of the Year program representing the high school, and be it further resolved that the South River Board of Education at its public meeting on June 23rd, 2022, wishes to have the sentiments spread upon the minutes of the meeting, and that a copy of this resolution be presented to Teresa Januska. Kenneth J. Kokoska, Board Secretary, Cynthia Urbanek, President. Congratulations.
Just I want to say thank you. This is such an honor because my colleagues chose me, and I think my colleagues are amazing. I was not born here, but I love South River. I love working here. I feel honored and blessed. I love my job, and I love the students. It does make it easy, Sarah. I just thank you so much. It's such an honor. Thank you.
Congratulations, and thank you to all of our wonderful teachers for them being recognized. Just can't say enough about you. At this time, we're going to move on to our regular items of business. You are welcome to stay. Of course, we do have the open session at the end of the meeting if you want to chat with us some more, or you can go out and celebrate, but it's your choice. We will not be offended if you leave the meeting. So, thank you, and congratulations once again.
Congratulations, everyone.
Okay, moving on to our committee reports. Athletics, Ms. Sadowski.
There's no additions from Monday night's meeting.
Okay, and our next committee report, Buildings and Grounds, Mr. Nielsen.
Nothing new, but I will read Mr. Blasch's report into the record. The month of June, as you can see, the day-to-day operations that continue to be done. And then we have the month of June has brought in some warmer temperatures, and with them an increase in HVAC issues. A new contractor switch was replaced in the high school auditorium unit. The elementary and middle school cooling towers and primary school rooftop units were serviced. Floor tile was repaired in the high school main office. Projects to the tennis courts and ball fields have been completed. Sprinkler pipes replaced and heads have been moved to ensure maximum coverage of the new turf. I am happy to say that this past month was filled with year-end events to set up, including concerts, field days, award ceremonies, art shows, and the curriculum fair. It has been wonderful to be able to hold these types of events, some of which have been so sorely missed over the past 2 years. As the school year winds down, I would like to take a moment to thank the custodial and maintenance staff for all their hard work. They have done a wonderful job during a very challenging year. Congratulations and best wishes for success and happiness to the graduating class of 22. And as always, go Rams. And that's all I have for now, Madam President.
Thank you. Finance, Ms. Lowe.
Thank you. So there are some additions and a couple of revisions that I want to go through. So 8.1, the adult school budget was revised. 8.32, there were some additions to the requisition list. And then from 8.33, which I gotta get to, were the additions. So 8.33, addition approved contract, Anna T. Ferreira, bilingual Portuguese speech language assessment services provider for the 22-23 school year. 8.34, addition approved contract, healthcare consultants, Inc., DBA, newborn nurses, nursing services for the 22-23 school year. 8.35, addition, reject bid number 22-12, elementary school drop-off driveway, and 8.36, addition approved amendment to the agreement with Diligent Corporation Billing Services for board docs. And that is all I have for this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Instruction, Vice President Bush.
Sure, I don't believe there were any changes since Monday evening's meeting. I do have a couple things that I wanted to highlight. First, Dr. Trevisano in his monthly report, I just wanted to highlight things for upcoming school year 22-23, because this year has just officially ended. So let's start talking about what's going to be in place for September. At the high school, we expanded the American Sign Language program and are adding a new course called Virtual Reality to the program of study. K-5, we have a new program there, a new special area course for those students designed to foster positive decision-making as well as conflict management strategies. In K-3, we are switching to a performance-based report card to evaluate students, and then the following year we'll be talking about adding grade 4 to that mix as well. And then again on the 17th, we observed Juneteenth to commemorate a day of emancipation of the enslaved African Americans, and we had a variety of activities, grade appropriate at all levels. I also asked Ms. Zurcher to provide me in honor of really Tony, who always talks about this at every time he presented. He always wanted to know where the students were going to attend. So I actually did a follow-up question to figure out the percentage of students who have post-secondary plans, rather than just listing every single school. And I have to say, I think every New Jersey state and private university is listed here by our students who just graduated this evening. But we have 80, roughly, I'm not going to hold you, don't hold me to this, don't quote this on the program of study or the school profile, right, in case I did my math wrong. But 81.5% of our students who graduated are going to either a 2-year school, a 4-year school, or a trade school. We have 6 students who graduated this evening who have enlisted, and they've enlisted in not just one branch of the military, but in the Marines, in the Army, and in the Air Force. We have a few that are taking a gap year, rightfully so. I think it's been a little stressful high school career for them. A couple are working full-time. But the students who are actually going to 4-year schools have gotten into some tremendous programs or are actually going into tremendous majors. So in addition to all of the New Jersey schools that I could recognize and I'm not going to list, we do have one student who is going to attend an Ivy League school at Cornell. We do have students going out of state as far as University of Tampa, or even further still, University of California, San Diego. Major-wise, we have from pre-med to biological studies, several different engineering majors, including chemical, mechanical, and civil engineering, and lots of students going into some form of computer science, whether it's computer programming or digital media. So I have to say, our class of 22 is pretty amazing. As Tony would say, contrary to what the public might think about our district, I think we produced a really great graduating class. And that is all I have for this evening.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Next on the agenda is negotiations. As you know, we all voted on the SREA contract. Fantastic job by the negotiations team. I think our SREA representatives did a good job also. Is there anything else, Chris, or?
No, the process is complete now. We will just have to draft the, formerly known as the booklets, the electronic information that everyone will have, and we will do that, and then we won't talk about it for 5 years. So that will be good for everybody involved, and it's a good deal. And I agree with everything Mr. Stempora said before.
Yes.
It really was cooperative. Even Mr. Banyak was on his best behavior, so
Yes.
it was a good process this time.
And Dan said it very well, I thought.
He did, and it was nice to hear that voice at the microphone. It's great to have that kind of feedback from your association.
Yeah, it was very much appreciated. I don't recall in recent years that happening. And I've been here a little while, so. Okay, the next committee report is policy and legislation. Ms. Bush.
There have been no additions since Monday evening's agenda.
Okay, Mr. Bazak, Human Resources, please.
Thank you. I have 9 additions since Monday evening. Item 12.47, addition approved evaluation superintendent of schools 2021-2022 school year. Item 12.48, addition approved treasurer of school monies Joseph Zina 2022-2023 school year. Item 12.49, addition approved appoint Janine Batusi middle school secretary 2022-2023 school year. Item 12.50, addition approved acting case manager compensation Jody Evanego. Item 12.51, addition approved social media coordinators 2022-2023 school year. Item 12.52, addition approved staff for special education meetings summer of 2022. Item 12.53, addition approved employee wages and salaries 12-month employees 2022-2023 school year. Item 12.54, addition approved appoint Brian Meadows high school ESL teacher 2022-2023 school year. And item 12.55, addition approved resignation Rebecca Knott, high school science teacher. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Safety and risk management, Ms. Sadowski.
Thank you, Mr. Bannock. There are no additional items since Monday night's meeting, but I did just want to mention that last week, the Safety and Risk Management Committee held a meeting. Ms. Searcher, Ms. Young-Yao, Mrs. Byrne, Mr. Bannock, and myself were all in attendance. And during this meeting, we reviewed the current safety protocols and procedures that are in place throughout the district. We also discussed some possible implementations of further measures district-wide. I will be able to share the appropriate details to the public once the entire board has been updated. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. School community relations, Mr. Nielsen.
Thank you, Madam President. We have 3 items I believe. Congratulations to the Southern Elementary School grade 4 student, Gabriella Rivers. Her artwork was selected to appear in the Middlesex County Sheriff's Office Bicycle Safety and Personal Safety Coloring Book. The coloring book will be distributed to children at fairs and county events. The ceremony honoring the selected contestants was held on June 16th at the Middlesex County Fire Academy. Are they videotaped? Do we know? I mean, can we ask the Sheriff's Department or maybe get a link to our Facebook page or any other page that we may use for these kids? I mean, it is nice, especially when it's outside the district. Press release for middle school students of the month for May 20th, 22. Grade 6, ELA, Reese Riga. Math, Amanda Faith Comia and Ishmael Jarusik. Science is Gabrielle Imirani. Social Studies, Tatiana Figueres. ESL, Enzo Silva Rodriguez. PE, Joel Lopez. And Cycle, Tia Rakayupo. If I mispronounce your names, I apologize. Grade 7, ELA, Gabriela Castellano. Math, Alexandria Mirabel and Ben Privy Marty. Science is S. Andrew Dovner. I don't know if that S is there, was just. Social Studies is Jaylee Francosa. PE, Miranda Lizardo. And Cycle, Daniel Shoshkin. Grade 8, K. Cisnero for ELA. Math, Ariella Diaz-Holigan. Science is Melinda Esposito and Nasir Brooks. Social Studies, Veronica Kim. PE, Rihanna Gregario. And for Cycle, Samantha Marquez. Thank you, Mr. Risk, for that. And last one, June happenings at the SRHS Business Department. Ruby, which stands for the Rutgers University Business Youth Program. On June 1st, members of the sophomore Ruby, Rutgers University Business Youth Program, cohort participated in a business plan competition against the other sophomore students from East Orange High School, Saraville High School, North Brunswick High School, Piscataway Township High School, Jackson Liberty High School, and Jackson Memorial High School. The South River High School students placed first. Their winning business plan was on their product called Queso-Matic. This product allows the buyer to recharge their batteries using their own kinetic energy. Members of the winning team were Elijah Abbas Sharif, Tiago Moriera, Sierra Outlaw, and Gabriel Ribeiro. Congratulations, those are some pretty big schools that they were up against.
Yeah.
So again, that goes to you. We're a small school, but we're producing quality educated students, and this just keeps going. Tony would be proud.
Yep.
Future Business Leaders of America Club. On June 28th, Sarah Severita, a sophomore, will be heading to the Future Business Leaders of America's National Leadership Conference in Chicago, where she will represent South River High School and the state of New Jersey in the financial business plan competition. Sarah placed third in the state leadership conference, which allowed her to advance to the national leadership conference. Sarah is a member of FBLA as well as a student council. Sarah is also ranked number 2 in her class. And again, that's third throughout the entire state. That's every school. We're talking like 600 school districts, correct? So this young lady is third in her class, and she comes from our district. Again, Tony would be proud, and as we are all proud of her. And that's all I have for this evening, Madam President.
Outstanding, thank you. Would you please continue with the School Board Borough Council Liaison report, if any?
Nothing new to report, but as you can see in the use of facilities reports, again, I'll state that we are the center of the universe when it comes to things that are done here in town. Everything revolves around this 16-acre campus. People, I hope you realize that. We have some referendums coming up, and we need to improve what we have, and so that the town can continue to use our facilities. That's all I have, Madam President.
Thank you. PTA Liaison, Ms. Sadowski.
Thank you. The school year wrapped up with several events that took place, like fun days, 5th grade fun night, 1st grade moving up party. PTAs are already planning fundraising and other events, including back to school night for the start of school in the fall. And I would just like to thank the members of the PTA for all their efforts this year. I know a lot of time and planning goes into making these events successful, and I hope everyone has a great summer. Thank you.
Thank you. Public Library Liaison, Mr. Beza.
Thank you. The library staff have posted the summer program on their website. There's many activities for children, adults. The staff works very hard to put the program together, and it is a fun program, quite a bit. So I hope that everybody supports the library this summer. It is air conditioned. I believe it's a new HVAC system too, right?
Yes.
So that's all I have.
Very important. Thank you. South River Foundation for Educational Excellence Liaison, Ms. Lowe.
Thank you. The foundation currently has on their website a link to a Google form. They are trying to decipher if there is enough interest for them to put forth a golf outing. So it's more of an interest survey that they have. So if anybody in the community would go onto their page, click on the link, and if you think it would be something you'd be interested in, please, complete the form for them. They just had a dine to donate last evening. That was shared to board members, to the district. It was in our e-rams for a while. It was through social media. So that part was also done. They were thinking ahead. They've been checking on a grant through PSE&G. They asked if the district could assist them with Ms. Zurcher and Ms. Miazio in terms of assistance putting the grant together. So I shared that information already. They know I had asked them to please give the district an opportunity to get through graduation, so they may be reaching out tomorrow. I did say it that way, after Thursday, that would be appreciated. Things were a little, crazy. And so they will be reaching out. This is the huge grant years ago that Mr. Rashitar, when we had asked him to come onto the board and he was about to submit it. So it's been closed for a while. It just happened to turn back on, and of course they put it up, and it closes on the 30th as a finalized. So they're really hoping to work through the grant and potentially be somebody who could get chosen for that grant. And that is all I have for this evening.
Well, thank you. It sounds like they're back up and in full swing.
They're trying.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Our student board representative is no more. She's a graduate. And our attorney, do you have a report for us?
No, but we will have a truly brief executive session on one quick personnel issue.
Thank you. Is there any old or new business to come before the board at this time? Not, then the payment of bills, Ms. Lowe.
The Finance Committee recommends that all bills presented, having been certified by the School Business Administrator Board Secretary, be paid as listed and isolated.
A motion by Ms. Lau.
Second.
Second by Mr. Nielsen. Any questions, comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. At this time, we are going to open up the meeting to reception of visitors, and the public may address any concern or comment that they have for the board. When you come to the microphone, please state your name and address, and please keep your comments to a 10-minute time limit. Anyone from the public on first call? Second call? Third call? Seeing none, we will close the public portion. At this time, the board will be going into an executive session. So be it resolved that pursuant to sections 7 and 8 of the Open Public Meetings Act, the following subjects be discussed at a session of the Board of Education closed to the public. And those are personnel. It is presently anticipated that the items to be discussed in closed session can be disclosed to the public when resolved. Do we have a motion?
Yes.
Motion by Mr. Nielsen. Second by Ms. Lau. All in favor? Roll call. Roll call.
Mr. Bezak? Mrs. Bush?
Yes.
Mrs. Lau?
Yes.
Mr. Nielsen?
Yes.
Ms. Sadowski?
Yes.
Mr. Bennett?
Yes,
And just to clarify, Mr. Remick, we will only be back out to adjourn.
thank you.